This is Delicious Dignity, where we cultivate a self so potent, so clear, so vital, so truthful, that our life is all the more luscious for it. Let's call ourselves into being, shall we? Hello, beautiful people. It is I. Lately, I've been paying attention to where my love is actually landing, not where I think it should land, not where I think it looks impressive, but where it's quietly showing up in my day-to-day life. And what I've noticed is that the things that I'm loving are all very practical. They're not dramatic or lofty. They're super practical. And because they're practical, they've become pleasurable. And that's an interesting thing that's happened. They're incredibly stabilizing, and I feel like they're doing something very important for me. They're upholding my dignity. And so today I wanted to share a few ordinary things I'm loving right now, and why I think that doing all of these things has actually built my self-respect. And we'll get into that. But as this episode is part of the Love Liberation series, LLS, within this podcast, the series is just my way of celebrating what I love. Because we talk about really difficult things on this podcast, we don't shy away from complexity and depth, and therefore looking at what's going on in the world. At the same time, we must also celebrate what we love with no holding back and share it. It's a form of rebellion against this attitude, this impulse that we've been taught, especially as women, is to tone down our joy, is to hide it for fear it might be taken away, or apologizing for what lights us up. It's a beautiful way for you to tune into something positive and uplifting, and even maybe tuning into this episode maybe will prepare your field for some of your sacred manifesting work or your law of attraction work, whatever you're doing. And so far in this series, we've covered birthday rituals, breakfast recipes, dogs, and even quirky objects like baby pigs. This is a really fun series, but I think this particular episode is just practical, that I think you're going to get so much more than just positive upliftment for it. I think you're actually going to get a lot of really useful life skills from it. So here we go. This is my heaven on earth. This is me showing you practical heaven on earth ways that I live. And can I just say, for those of you who are skeptical, I will and I can show receipts for everything that I talk about. I have receipts, and I'll put them up on my Instagram so you can see, and I'll label it really clear where it says receipts for episode, whatever number this episode is. And then you can see the receipts for the things, the people, the companies that I'm talking about, so that you know that this is truly coming from my own experience, that I've spent months, sometimes years, with this thing that I love. And I really have no other agenda other than to show it to you and tell you about it and why it's working for me and that I love it. Do I wish that these people would sponsor me someday? Yes, I do. But they are not sponsoring me yet. I'm nowhere close to that. It's just coming from my own experience, and I'm sharing what's really working for me and why I love it. So the first thing that's really been extremely useful for me is the Finch app. The Finch app is basically this app that helps you complete your goals. So everyday tasks that you normally avoid, or you actually like doing, whatever it is, you plug this into the app, and it's basically like a Tamagotchi. Do you remember, at least when I was young, my favorite toy was a Tamagotchi, which is an electronic pet. It was a little device that you had to feed and you had to take care of and pet in order to help it grow. In the same way, this is an app, and it's the Finch app, where you complete your goals or you complete your tasks for the day, and you watch your Tamagotchi, your Finch, your bird, grow. You can dress it up in all kinds of clothing, because the more you complete your goals, the more you can buy stuff for this little bird. You can make it travel. You can buy it pets. It's the most beautiful way for me to finish my tasks for the day. Like right now, I completed a travel to India with my little Finch bird. And because of that, my closet for my little bird pet is just filled with saris and kurtas and all kinds of Indian traditional dressing. And it's such a beautiful thing to see. The most surprising thing were these ornate Indian doors that I could buy for my Finch's home, a sitar, which is a Indian musical instrument in my Finch's home. It's such a beautiful thing that has helped me stay motivated to finishing my tasks for the day or goals. Now, I'm not formally diagnosed, but I've struggled with executive dysfunction my entire life. This is something that it's typically a sign of ADHD, but I cannot really plan and focus very well. And I have trouble starting tasks and I have trouble finishing them. So and I have trouble with time management, not in the sense that I'm late to things. In fact, I'm more early to things, but time management in the form of I either underestimate or overestimate severely the amount of time a task will take in my brain. And organization is just not my thing, right? I can be very organized when it comes to certain things, but with most of life things, it's really difficult for me to motivate myself. Cooking and cleaning are some of those things. There are other things that I find very mundane. I cannot do them. I physically have to push myself to do them. Otherwise, I can't get it done. Things like filing my taxes is a really difficult thing for me to do. Things like, oh yes, expense reports. In my corporate job, I would travel and I would have expense reports. And because I found them really mundane, I just wouldn't do them. So there would be times when I would lose out on thousands of dollars just because I couldn't get myself to file a form with my expense reports. So there's a cost to this, right? There's a really difficult consequence to me not finishing a task just because it's mundane. And for so long, I was like, should I be medicated? Should I force myself to do this and do things? And for so long, I was forcing myself to do things. And in comes the Finch app, where I get rewarded by being able to buy saris and by being able to travel to Indonesia with my little Finch bird for doing these tasks. And it has made doing these tasks so much more pleasurable. It's so easy to do a task when I can see the immediate reward for it. And I don't have to rely on my own steam and push so hard and motivate myself to do something. The fact that my little Finch bird I can buy my little Finch bird all kinds of pets for my Finch is so adorable too. Like right now I have a sheep with glasses. I've also had squirrels, raccoons, dogs, owls, and black cats. The part of me that loves animals is actually really happy with this app, and I get to do all these things just for completing a task. So it's really helpful for someone who has this executive dysfunction and who has mismatched time management. And that's really been helping with my dignity, because instead of forcing or pushing myself, I'm just working from a place of love and reward and beauty and pleasure. And it's just a lovely, lovely app, and it's completely free. There is a premium version of it, but you can get so much out of it with just the free one. And the fun part about this also is that you can be somebody's friend on Finch and celebrate each other and give each other high fives and send each other compliments, and you can get rewarded for that too. It's such a cute little thing. By the way, I'll put my friend code in the description if you're interested, because I would love to be friends on Finch. The more friends, the better. It's another way to stay motivated. The thing I do on this app is I have 5 categories that I really love. So I have my purpose. So the things that I consider my purpose, my work in the world. So I have tasks for that to do every day. Art and beauty is another category where I have tasks. And then I have connection, because connection and intimacy is really important to me. So that could be anything from channeling with my intuition to doing energy release work, to playing with my dog, to doing the subconscious journaling that I talked to you about in When You Can't Believe Your Own Dreams in episode 35. I put that on my task list too. So every day that I do it, I mark it as complete and I get rewarded. Anything related to nutrition and getting in my protein, I put that in. Anything related to things that truly support and feel like support for me, which includes cleaning. It includes small little tasks around the house. Those things as well I put in here. So I've created categories that make sense to me, that are important to me. They're related to my goals for this year. All the goals we identified in episode 31, 32, 33, 34, all those goals, all those dreams I put into this app. And then I put down daily tasks for each of these big goals. And I use a lot of the suggestions from Atomic Habits, which I didn't know was a thing until I already was doing these little adjustments in my life. I didn't know that somebody had already categorized them and put them in a book. But I highly recommend reading Atomic Habits. And he says, make it easy, make it available, put it in your face in order to do a goal. Sorry, let me just explain that again. He says in Atomic Habits that how you can change your behavior and achieve your goals is through 4 basic ways, which is make it visible and obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. And so for me, I use the Finch app to break down my goals in a very easy way. For example, I say, hey, do a 1-minute plank every day, 3 times a day. That's a way that I can get to the goals for body and hair that I had. The other thing was stimulate my scalp every day. So that goes under my goal or my vision that I have to have a vibrant body and grow my hair really long. And I put that in the app. It's just such a sweet way of doing dreams and goals and intentions, especially when it requires a new identity and especially when you need accountability. That's what this app helps me with the most. It helps with accountability. And I really like having someone to be accountable to, even if it's a digital little pet. And the last thing I'll say about this is, as someone who doesn't see immediate rewards for things, and most of us have to operate on our own steam. So one of the things I do is that the tasks I already do naturally, I add those in too. So the tasks that come to me just normally, sometimes in the beginning, I started rewarding myself for feeding my dog, which helped me build up this muscle for recognizing the things I already do well, like doing my intuition practice work as an example, or doing my artwork. Those things come semi-naturally to me. I don't necessarily have to reward myself for those things, but rewarding myself for the things that I love to do is also something that I have started to do within this app. And what this app has taught me overall, I'm going to try not to cry, is just how to treat myself with love and compassion on a day-to-day basis, and to really celebrate my wins in a way that I haven't been able to notice before. Each task is done with celebration, and I just love that. Okay, the reason I'm, again, explaining what these things are and why they work so well for me is because of how it restores my dignity and how it upholds it. And I think you can hear that when I'm talking about this app, all the different ways it has helped me. You can check it out too, like I said, but there could be another app in your life that also rewards you in the same way. And my point is to just notice it. You don't have to. I think a lot of times we diminish the things we love, and noticing what brings you joy, what restores your dignity, is hugely important because you know what to rely on when times get tough. Okay. The next thing that I've really been loving is the Teledipity app. I am very much against predictions in psychic readings and in any kind of spiritual practice, even in astrology. I'm completely 100% against predictions. However, in enters the Teledipity app, which is an app based on numerology. And it's so cute because their mascot is Pythagoras. And this Pythagorean guy is giving you these little explanations for the energies of your week, your month, your year. And while they're not predictions in the way other people recommend predictions be done or expect predictions to be done, like September 14th, this is what's going to happen. Instead, they give energy predictions or energy explanations for what your week is going to look like, what to expect in your month and in your year. And I can really respect that because that to me is predictions done right. And this app has been fairly accurate. And I've had it for a little over a year now. And again, the receipts will be in my Instagram, so you'll be able to see. And you get so much out of just the free version of the app. You can sign up for the premium for sure, but you get so much just out of the free version of the app that it's glorious. I absolutely love everything about this app. They do spirituality in such a clean and practical and direct way. Like one of the things they do is give you a list of books to read, depending upon what your numerology is saying. for the year, which I think is a really practical thing to do. You're giving somebody a book to read that will guide them through the goals or the situations or events that are going to happen in their life so that they can carry it forward. It's something that I do when I do readings. So to see an app be able to do that with relative accuracy is glorious, and I love it. And I think more people should know about it. For me, I particularly enjoy the yearly forecast. I love the yearly forecast. That's my favorite part of the app. It's helped me to understand that the energy that I'm feeling or seeing is actually real. Because, for example, in 2025, I was sensing that this year was very sludgy. It felt like I was just in molasses the whole year. Everything just felt really slow, and it just didn't feel like it was producing results. And when I go to the app, that's exactly what it says, that I'm in a numerological year where this is more of a preparation phase. It's more of a gathering wisdom phase than it is about an action phase. And it felt completely right. And I was like, oh, okay, that validates what I'm feeling. This is not a me problem. This is just how it's working right now. And it gave me practical tips to deal with it, which actually ended up working out really well. So it's things like that. I feel like if an app can do that for you and can do it relatively well, especially over the period of years that I've been using it, brilliant. I absolutely love that. So moving away from the apps for a second, I really enjoy the fact that I've been eating a lot of protein now as a vegetarian, even though I thought that protein is overhyped in our culture. It's like everybody's talking about getting more protein, until I realized I was eating very little to no protein because I'm vegetarian, and I'm also very picky about the type of foods in my vegetarian food that I can eat. For example, I hated tofu for the longest time, and I hated having a lot of beans in my diet, which carries a lot more protein than just eating leaves. I love eating leaves. That's my thing, is to eat leaves. Now, that's not very protein filled, is it? And so this year, because my dream is to grow my hair down to my butt, I started eating more protein. And so every day I'm having a lot of protein milkshakes and protein, what are they called? Smoothies. See, I don't even know what they're called because I'm so out of the loop with protein. But for me, having this protein and seeing the immediate results, and my nails have not been brittle, they've grown so strong. And I've been painting them because they're so beautiful. I've started painting my nails. And the process of painting my nails and just loving on my nails and seeing that protein is affecting me in a positive way, to see results so fast. I saw results within 3 days of daily drinking protein. That's incredible, is it not? I just love that. And the fact that I want to celebrate it by painting my nails, because it means so much to me than just having pretty nails. It means that my efforts are working, and I'm celebrating that by painting my nails. And so for the first time in probably my entire life, I went out and bought nail polish, and I've been using the nail polish. And I think the technology has advanced now where the nail polish brushes make it so easy to apply nail polish. And they make it so easy to not smudge it anymore. Because I think before, when I used to try to apply nail polish, it would go all over my nails. It would go all over my skin. I think maybe my hands were shaky, but I definitely think the nail polish brushes have improved in the last, 10 or 15 years that I have applied nail polish. And the fact that they also have this thing called a gel top coat that you can use on top of regular nail polish, because I won't use gel. I only will use regular nail polish. But the fact that they have a gel top coat, it protects it for days. So my regular nail polish that would chip within a day now doesn't chip for an entire week sometimes with the gel top coat. And so just having that, where I have these gorgeous nails that have been grown long because of my new habit, has just been excellent. And of course, I put this in my Finch app too, to drink more protein. So I just love that experience. It means so much to me. I can't explain why, but it means a lot to me. The other thing that's really on my heart is Olivia Dean. Oh my God, this woman. Oh my God, this woman. So Olivia Dean is a beautiful young artist. And her songs feel like my word for the year. My word for the year is just love. And I'm not talking about love in the typical frou-frou sense. I'm talking about love. In fact, because of it being my word, I actually bought a book on Audible by Bell Hooks, and I think it's called All About Love or something, where love is an act of compassion, activism, and justice. So that is an aspect of love that I'm introducing to myself in 2026. But I digress. Olivia Dean feels like my word of the year, my word of love for 2026. All her songs feel like love, including the ones that are about heartbreak and difficult topics. Still, I love her music. They feel like love to me. And I discovered her because of Instagram. And this is one of the reasons why I can't completely say no to the Instagram algorithm, because the algorithm has introduced me to so many amazing artists, chefs, cooks, jewelry artists, so many amazing things. And that's why it's very important to me that, yeah, I still engage with the algorithm, but do it in a way that's proper and more mindful than just scrolling. But anyway, I discovered her because of Instagram, and it's just been, I just listen to her songs almost every day on repeat. She's a beautiful singer. I love the arrangement of her songs. I don't know who her producer is, but they are glorious. I used to listen to soft jazz music over and over again throughout the year, that because it's very calming for me. I think it's called coffee shop jazz or something. And that's what I listened to. And then I found Olivia Dean, where I could actually handle not just the music, but also her words and her vocals. And I just love how they've arranged her music. It feels sacred to me. It feels like the cover of this podcast with the woman and the flower and the arch and the colors. That's what her music feels like to me. If there was an artist I would say is currently representing delicious dignity, it would be Olivia Dean. And I said this before in a previous episode, where I think it was the episode on when you can't believe in your own dreams. I recommended that you find an artist or find an album or a song that represents your word of the year. And that will carry you through the year until you have something musically oriented for your year, because music and audio goes straight to the part of the brain that's incredibly potent for creating a new identity. The more you listen to that, you get more information. It's sound, vibration. It's so many things that gets communicated to you when you listen to something. One of my unintentional prayers every time I start one of these podcasts is, even if people don't listen to a word I say, may they have the energy of empowerment come through into their ears and into their brain. And that's always my kind of unintentional prayer. That's what I imagine every time when I start one of these podcasts is, even if you don't listen to the content, you at least imbibe the energy of it. The thing that has been a little bit contentious for me that I love, that I have somewhat been apologetic for, is Spotify. Now, Spotify is, what it is, but they've had a history of not treating artists very well, not paying them what they should be paid, and a whole bunch of other things that's wrong with this company. However, before I found out about what they were doing, their service actually was giving me a lot of joy. I thought it was great value for money. I had this premium Spotify subscription, and I was subscribing to not just the music and playlists that I was making that suited my moods and for different times of the day, but also discovering new artists through their radio. So if for example, I like Olivia Dean, I do an Olivia Dean radio, and they would give me artists that were just incredibly on point for the type of music I like. And they also, with the premium subscription, at the time in which I subscribed, they also gave me a free license for Hulu that I still use to this day, and 11 hours of audiobooks each month for free with my Spotify premium subscription. And there's so much. So I get Hulu, where I watch my documentaries, the audiobooks where I listen to books that really matter to me, and the music. And all of these things were offered through the Spotify app. This is, again, before I was wiser to what they were doing. And while I can still not deny the love that it gave me and the amount of joy I got from using this app, because I got so many different avenues, from documentaries to new artists from this one app, it was really hard to dislike them. I loved them. And now, of course, I'm searching for alternatives to replace that. But one thing I will say is that it really gave me a lot of joy. It really gave me a lot of benefit, because the fact that I can listen to audiobooks and documentaries and music was just incredibly profound. And the one thing I was thinking about is, how can I support these artists that I love on Spotify? And one of the things I thought of is going and buying concert tickets, following them online, and maybe getting a record player and playing their records on my record player. But yeah, so my point is that really loved this app, really had a lot of value, became wiser to their not so great tactics, but at the same time now thinking about ways that I can support the people that I have gotten so much benefit from. So it's a little bit convoluted. It's not a straight shot, oh, I really love this, and there are downsides to loving this. However, this is the complexity and paradox I'm sitting with, but that's what I have. So in case you didn't know, the Spotify app has so much value. That's what they have, and it's incredible, and it gave me a lot of joy. And the last thing I will say, in terms of things that gave me joy or people that gave me joy that are so distanced from me and not close to me, because I make that distinction between things that are further away from me that give me a lot of joy and dignity, and then things that are much closer to me that gave me a lot of joy. So the last thing that was a little bit more distanced from me that gave me joy is Capital One CDs, or certificate of deposits is what they called. And basically, a CD is something that you just put your money in. It's locked for a few months or years, and they give you a set interest rate, and you earn money on the money you invested. And what I really loved about Capital One CDs is that they just have a lovely UI. They have a lovely user interface, and it makes it so easy to calculate the money that I will get at the end of my term. It makes it so easy to start CDs, close CDs, transfer them. You can do everything automatically. And for someone who is just very overwhelmed with all the tasks I take up on a daily basis, when I don't want to pay attention constantly to the stocks rising and falling, when I don't want to have to work so hard to get my money to grow, and I just want a lazy, easy way to have my money do something for me, I put it into a Capital One CD. And yeah, they're very transparent. They're very easy to work with. And they are FDIC insured, which is also lovely, gives me that extra layers of security. And when I did try CDs in other places, for example, I tried CDs in Bank of America, horrible experience. They advertised their interest rate at being 5%, but then when I actually got my money and the interest rate, it was half of that or 3/4 of that or something. And when I asked them, how are you calculating your interest rate? Because the interest rate you say is 5%, but I'm not getting 5% interest rate. I'm getting another type of interest rate. It took me, I think, hours to find somebody who could actually explain to me what was happening. And basically, they said that the rate that they advertised was the compound interest rate. I can't remember exactly what it was, but basically, the 5% interest rate that you would typically calculate is not how they calculated it. They calculated it using their own calculation and then presented it to me, and without even telling me that this is how they calculate it. So what they advertise and what they actually deliver are two different things. And I remember just being so angry because my money was locked in for a pretty large amount of time. And I couldn't get it out because I didn't realize that what they advertise is not what I got. So the fact when I actually researched Capital One, and then I realized the interest rate they advertised is the interest I would get. And you can see it very clearly every month, how much interest you're earning and why and how and what the calculation is. It's just, oh my God, thank God for companies that make things easier on their users. What an easy, beautiful way to do finance without constantly feeling like you've got to run this rat race. Some might argue the interest rate you get on a CD is not enough, or you can get so much more with stocks and with investing. Yes, but for someone who doesn't want to work too hard at it all the time, having some money in a CD actually is extremely beneficial for my dignity, because I'm not stretching myself so thin trying to make my money work for me. I'm just investing it in a CD. It's a consistent interest rate. I know what I'm going to get every single month, and I'm not stressing about it. I'm not looking at something rise and fall like stocks do or other investments do. So it's a beautiful thing. I really celebrate Capital One. And the funny thing is, Capital One is the first credit card that I ever got, that I ever qualified for. And because of them, I was able to grow my credit score to where it is now and get the benefits from that. I think they gave me a credit card when I was 19 or 20. So yeah, I really have a lot of love for this company. They've done a lot of good for me. Yeah, check it out, Capital One CDs, if you want to. Again, this is a company I hope that sponsors me one day. But again, I don't have a sponsorship with them. I have no other agenda other than to just give you something that's easy and beautiful that you can benefit from today. That's all. I just want to help you. Okay. The last person, and this is someone who is very close to me, is my vet. Oh my goodness, my vet. My dog is a nervous, anxious little baby. And my vet I found this new vet. They are about an hour and a half away from me each way. So I drove a total of 3 hours to see this vet. And they're just such a sincere, competent shop. I have to bring Azar to India. So one of the things I'm thinking of doing is moving back to India. And one of the things I have to do is bring Azar with me. And there are so many different moving parts to bringing a dog into another country. She took the time to sit with my dog, make him her fan, which if you've met my dog, he is very picky about his people. But she made him her biggest fan. And they even are trying to get me to find easier ways to bring Azar into India. Azar being my dog. I don't know if I said that already. That's something outside of their scope. Like their only scope is to take care of the health of my dog and give him vaccinations, etc. But they went above and beyond, including reading the documents that are required for me to move to India with a dog and giving me advice on things that I missed. So I missed a few things on the form that's required to bring Azar into India, and they caught it and they guided me. Wow. To have trustworthy, competent, sincere people, it's such a beautiful thing, especially during this time when there's so many unknowns. Wow. I mean, people like that still exist. It's such a beautiful thing. And for them to go above and beyond on top of that is just amazing. It's just an incredible, I have no words for my vet. I mean, what an incredible human being, what an incredible place. And yeah, if you're wondering where this place is, it's Prescott Animal Hospital. It's in Prescott in Arizona. And my vet's name is Dr. Sloan. And a lot of times, and probably vets will understand what I'm saying here, but a lot of times it's not the dog you have to manage, it's the very anxious owner you have to manage. Very anxious guardian who's sitting there being like, what do? I don't know whom to go to. There are no clear answers. Working with government and government forms is just so overwhelming. And to have a vet sit there and be able to calm me down and my anxious dog down is just such a beautiful thing. Again, one of the things I'm going to do is next time I see my vet, which is going to be in 2 weeks, is bring her flowers and maybe even make some chai for her and probably even leave a review for them. And I say this just to help you understand that you can keep the cycle of love going, by reciprocating with the people that are truly open-hearted and sincere and competent people, and they really do good work in the world. Support them, love on them. So yeah, I just wanted to share all of these things with you. I hope this gave you the oomph you needed in your day. I hope this helps you recognize the things that expand your dignity and your joy. And I hope the things that I have recommended you actually use and see how it works in your life. I will put the links to everything in the description, so you'll have it all there. And if you enjoyed this episode or the other ones, please consider leaving a 5-star review and following the show. Those help me continue working on this show and making it even better for you with each episode. And also leave me some feedback. If there are things that you'd like to see more of in the show, you can always email me, dilshad@dilshadmehta.com, or you can go over to my Instagram, Delicious Dignity, and tell me what topics you'd like me to cover. There's a lot of prongs. There are a lot of prongs to the Delicious Dignity umbrella. There is politics, there is empowerment, there is finance, there is spirituality, there is mysticism. There's so many prongs to this umbrella. And I've lived a very wide and deep life. So there's lots of things that I can cover. Anyway, Okay, my lovelies. Until next time, may you uphold your dignity by loving what you love, and may what you love uphold another's dignity as well. Bye.